I wanted to share some things that I learned about sailboat maintenance recently in the last about 2 or 3 weeks. First thing I learned is that if your gut is telling you that you need to check something or you should be worried about something, you should go ahead and take care of it. I made a video about, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago about removing my speed transducer each time that I come back in from sailing, and then putting it back in on my next outing, so that it is only in the water while I'm actually sailing or away from the dock. When I'm at the dock, I remove it and put in the blank so that the little paddle wheel doesn't get filled up with bugs and critters. Well, about 2 weeks ago, I went sailing with my son, and when I came back in, I saw that I realized when I went to remove my speed transducer that it was cross-threaded. And so the little cap that holds the transducer down in place in the through hole was that cap, similar to this one, was cross-threaded so that it was screwed down at an angle. And try as I may, I could not get that cap to screw down properly on the threads when I went to put either the paddle wheel back in, the transducer back in, or the blank. Neither one. So I couldn't sleep at night with that, obviously. And I also saw that when I was trying to get it back in, that when I was trying to get it rethreaded properly, that a small portion of the plastic broke off the lip somewhere in here. I'm not sure exactly where, but broke off. So now I was really uncomfortable with it in there. I suppose, and by the way, this is the actual transducer, is now damaged quite a bit more as part of the removal process. But I think that I could have simply backed off this nut, which is just inside the hull, that keeps it locked into position. This is the bottom of it. And I could have just backed off that and probably repaired the threading on the through hull. I didn't think about that. Well, I did actually kind of think about it, but I was worried about doing that and didn't think it would be a reasonable thing to do. I do now believe that if I had just backed it off like this, it would have repaired the threads, and I probably could have got more years of service out of this through hull. But I was worried about it, and I ordered a replacement. I had the boat hauled out, hung in slings overnight, while the boat yard here took this one out, this through hull out, and put the new one in. By the way, you can see it has a little flap in it. That flap worked really well. On the new one, which is the same exact model, it doesn't work quite as well, so I get more water through it than I did on the old one. It's still not dramatic or anything like that, but this older one did work better as far as minimizing the amount of water than the brand new one does, for whatever it's worth. So that was mistake number one, was cross-threading my through hull. It is plastic, and the boatyard people here and other people have said that these plastic through hulls over time may dry out and the plastic become a little bit brittle or something. I don't know if that's really true or not, but at any rate, I did cross-thread it. I could not get it to go, I could not get this cap to go back on properly. No matter what I did, I couldn't get it to go back on properly. So the part was, I don't know, $40. All in all, it was a $500 problem when you do the haul out. I had the boatyard people do it for me, so lesson learned. But while I had the boat in the sling, I also took the opportunity, like I do every time I haul the boat out, to scrape the little bit of critters and growth that gets in around the raw water intake for my air conditioner. And I did that just like I always do. But normally when I do that, the boat has been sitting on the hard, and the little bugs and critters and growth have all dried out, and when I scrape them out, they just fall down onto the ground. Well, this time they were not dried out, and they didn't come out. A lot of it did not fall out of the little grill. There's a grill over mine. I know not all through hulls have a grill over them. This air conditioner one does on my boat, and I don't know why, but it does. And not all of the little stuff fell out onto the ground. And I thought, well, no big deal. It'll get washed out. But it didn't. And when I turned my air conditioner heat on that evening, I noticed that over the side of the boat where the water runs out was running a little slow. I didn't think too much about it. I figured, well, it'll flush itself out. It'll be okay. I went away. I was going to come back later that night and check it, but things happened in life, and I didn't make it back down till the next day. And no water was pumping over the side of the boat. So that meant either the air conditioner / heat unit was not running. It had, it was, for whatever reason, probably I hoped it was because it was warm enough inside the boat that it had cut off. But I got down inside and it was running. The pump wasn't pumping any water, which means it had clogged. So I took the boat out and thought, well, I'll run it out. I'll motor out for 2 or 3 miles and bring it back in, running, 6, 7 knots the whole time. That'll flush it all out and it'll be okay. Didn't work. Well, when I bought the boat, I noticed that the bowl on the raw water strainer had a crack in it. I don't know if you can see the crack. That made me nervous. So that was a good thing that I did. I bought a new filter strainer just so that I could have a new bowl. And I put the new bowl on. Well, now, one of the things that I also learned or saw during that period of time, and I decided to ignore it rather than take care of it, was that the raw water strainer has an arrow indicating which way the water should flow, and it was backwards. So the water came in from the through hull in this direction and passed through to the pump in that direction, which I decided, in my lack of knowledge and typical manner of trying to avoid, to ignore that. And what that means is that when the water comes in, it hits this inner wall, and it's a very thin place, and stuff gets clogged up in there. And it's been that way, I'm sure, at least since the air conditioner was replaced in 2016. It was wrong. And I saw that it was wrong when I bought the boat in 2018 or 19, whenever I bought it. So somewhere around 2019, 2020, somewhere in that time frame, I saw that it was installed backwards, but I didn't do anything about it. When it's installed properly, the raw water comes into this large area and is captured by the strainer, but it doesn't get clogged up. It won't clog up as easily. When it's installed backwards, I learned that it gets clogged up, very, susceptible to clogging up. So I had to replace this, and I did replace it. And fortunately, I already had the replacement strainer, and it only took about, 30 minutes to replace it, which I could have done 5 years ago. And avoided that problem. But also, while I was in the process of figuring out what was going wrong, or why my air conditioner wasn't working, my heat, now it's just cutting on, I saw that this was loose. So that was good. I saw that was loose, and I fixed that. So and in fact it's working, and I just had to turn it off. But so the things I did wrong was not being careful and cross-threading my through hull. $500 mistake. Leaving this in place for 5 years or 4 years when I knew it was installed improperly could have been a $500 mistake, because when I came back to the boat, the pump was running. Fortunately, it had only been running since the afternoon before, so I came back the next day and the pump was running, but it had not overheated to the point that it cut off the circuit breaker, or apparently did damage, because it's working okay now. I hope I didn't damage it. But that pump is $500, so it was almost another $500. Fortunately, I appear to have avoided that this time. So anyway, what I did good, I bought another filter and replaced that when I saw it was cracked. That meant I had a brand new one of these handy sitting by, and I used it when I corrected my clog and the direction of my flow. And I think it's probably also good that I went ahead and replaced this rather than backing the thread off and trying to repair it. The things I did bad: cross-threading it in the first place, not taking care of this when I originally saw it. So for those of you who are like me, who are just learning about sailboats and trying to keep them functioning, maybe this will save you some trouble in the future. Thanks.